We just got back from a 2-week trip to Italy, and I packed for the whole thing in a single carry-on backpack. My goal with packing was to keep things as minimal as possible to stay out of my way so I could enjoy the trip to the utmost. In this video, I'll share what I brought, what I wish I would have brought, and what I probably should have left at home. For this trip, being as mobile as possible was a priority. We were consistently hopping on and off of trains and buses, and we walked over 20,000 steps nearly every single day. We walked, sightsaw, hiked, and biked in a variety of weather conditions, and this kit took care of everything. I broke things down into 5 different categories. The actual thing I'm going to be packing in, clothing, hygiene, tech, and miscellaneous. So one of the things that's worked well for me as a minimalist is not trying to have the perfect things and just being okay with the things I have as long as they're functional and useful. With that in mind, the bag I packed in was the Wandered Provoke 31 liter. This is normally my camera backpack, but the camera equipment comes out in a cube like this, and so it opens up a nice space to be able to pack in. Next was compressible packing cubes. These were off of Amazon. I used 2 of the larger size and 1 of the smaller size. This was my first time packing with packing cubes, and it was awesome. I don't know what I was doing before. I also packed in 1 TSA approved liquids bag. 2, clothing. In my main packing cube, I had 1 pair of pants. These were the Lululemon ABC pants. I ended up wearing these every single day. I did bring a pair of dressy chino shorts, but for some reason when I put them on, they were far too big for me. I'm not sure what happened. And then I brought 1 pair of athletic shorts. If it had been any warmer, I really would have struggled without a solid pair of dressy shorts. So I would bring those again, just make sure they're actually my size currently. I also brought 4 shirts. One of my classic black t-shirts, an oversized beige t-shirt that I could tuck into dress pants or leave untucked, a black dress shirt that was wrinkle resistant, and a white ribbed polo. I also brought a belt. This was fine. I wore it a few times with the dressier stuff. I brought 4 pairs of socks and 4 pairs of boxers. I also brought a rain jacket, and I'm really glad I did. It ended up raining on and off quite a bit throughout it, and so I wore it on 4 or 5 out of our 14 days there. The one thing I really wish I could have brought or had made room for was a sweatshirt or a sweater of some sort. There were days where it was really cool in the morning and then really hot later, and I wanted to be able to kind of balance those and just cozy up with a sweatshirt. And sometimes I just had to put on my rain jacket for an extra layer and then take it off and bundle it up. That was fine, but if I could have, I would have liked to have brought a sweatshirt or a sweater. For shoes, I just wore a single pair of white leather sneakers. These ones are from Thursday Boots. Now, normally I wouldn't hike in white shoes, but that's what I had, and so I did, and it was okay. They got dirtier than I wanted to, but they're white shoes, they're going to get dirty. Number 3, hygiene. I brought a TSA compliant liquids bag and was able to take some of Abby's stuff in addition to my own. I also brought a toothbrush, toothpaste, a travel size container of Vaseline, my beard trimmer with the correct attachment, a regular size deodorant, laundry soap to be able to do laundry every few days, face cleanser, face moisturizer, a bar of shower soap, and hair product. Now, I brought the full 3-ounce hair product that I usually keep at home, and I wish I'd been smart and broken this down into a smaller container to save extra space. Another thing I wish I'd brought was a nail clipper. I didn't think about going 2 weeks without clipping my nails, and so that was kind of annoying. For tech, I brought my camera with the lens attached, and then an extra battery. I only ended up needing the extra battery for 1 day, but it takes up so little space, I would bring it again. I also brought my Peak Design camera strap, so I was able to wear my camera across my body at all times. We also brought a 10,000 milliamp hour battery bank. For 2 people, I would recommend double that size. This was okay, but we barely made it through, especially on travel days. We also brought all of the charging cables we need, and these plugged into a universal power adapter. The only downside with doing something like this is that once everything's plugged in, charging is incredibly slow, which is totally fine for overnight, but I even ran into issues where my camera battery wasn't charging all the way up while plugged in because it was busy charging our phones and the battery bank overnight. I also dropped an AirTag in my bag just in case it got stolen. Thankfully, I didn't need to use it. The only computer I brought was my iPhone 11. This did the trick for navigation, tap to pay, processing and backing up photos from my camera, and entertainment while in transit. I was able to get through almost 2 whole audiobooks during the trip. I also brought my AirPods Pro. The noise cancellation on these is great, and it's good enough for an airplane or a bus or a train. This helped keep travel stress down for me, just be able to pop these in and to kind of go into my own world of familiar music or that kind of thing if there was like a screaming child behind me or it was just loud. Now onto the miscellaneous category. I wish I'd had room to travel with my travel camera tripod. That would have been super helpful. I had to handhold everything, and we had a really hard time getting shots of Abby and I together. The only 2 shots we got were this one, and that was because we found a bench that was nearby, and then we had to kind of prop it up on Abby's shoulder bag. It didn't work great, and I had to do a bunch of cropping and readjusting in post. I wasn't able to bring it because of the next thing I brought, which was a water bottle. I need my water bottle with me at all times. It's sitting right next to me right now. And if I don't have water, I'm just real cranky really quickly and my day goes downhill. So we made sure that we had water bottles with us. That was top priority. But if I had purchased a carabiner or brought a carabiner with, I would have been able to clip my water bottle to that, and then I would have had room for the travel tripod. So that's something for next time. The other thing we brought was this fold down collapsible day backpack. The thing I didn't like about it was because it was collapsible, it doesn't have any form to it, and so it just kind of hangs. And often I found that we didn't need it. On 13 of the 14 days, I would have preferred a very small, like 1 liter shoulder bag. I would have just needed to find a place for my water bottle. I think I could have done a carabiner and kind of clipped it across the bag and just kind of hung it from there, and I would have been good to go. Then of course we brought our travel documents, 2 separate credit cards, and around 100 euros in emergency cash. So there it is. That is how I packed for 2 weeks in Europe out of a single backpack. I've realized at this point that really no matter how long the trip is or wherever I'm going, I don't think I will ever bring more than just a backpack unless it's for a film shoot. Just the freedom it gave me to be able to walk around, move quickly instead of having to drag a suitcase with me was incredible. Despite being a minimalist for the last 10 years, this trip served as a powerful reminder of how few things I need to feel contented and live a fulfilled life. If you have any tips for packing light, please leave those down in the comments. I'd love to hear about them. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.